I want to thank you guys for clicking on the video, and I actually had to make this a two-parter because it was way too long. Literally, I was talking for over 45 minutes in this video, so I had to end up cutting it into two parts. So this is just a little introduction, just saying just bear with me on this, because I do ramble a little bit, but I get my point across for the most part. And we're just briefly going over the infamous games in these videos. So this is part number 1, and part number 2 will be up as soon as possible, possibly the next day. So, yep, sit back and enjoy the video. Hey guys, SoranotRoxas here, and yeah, I'm still alive. He'll come back. He'll come back. For those of you who saw the Walking Dead episode last night, man, that was a heavy episode. They'll come back. They always come back, but yeah, you don't want to hear about that, man. You want to hear about the topic for this video. You want to hear about the infamous games. And let me just start off by saying I am actually a big Infamous fan. Actually, a little background for right now. When I first got my PlayStation 3, there was like this big emphasis on multiplayer type games. You know, the big multiplayer games was starting to come out, and everybody was getting into them. Excuse me, and just messing around with my computer here, actually looking up some stuff. So this is when the PlayStation Network was going to be introduced and everything. I got to make an account. I'm like, what is this fancy network thing? You know, I knew about Xbox Live. I had an Xbox. I knew about Xbox Live. You know, I didn't buy it. But what is this? Now PlayStation has one? What is this fancy networking thing that everybody's getting into? And as far as when I made an account, I was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to use this PlayStation Network stuff a lot. And I don't use it a lot, and I probably would say I use it more when I first got the PlayStation as to opposed to now. Before I used to like downloading stuff and whatnot, but now I was like, yeah, you know, it was mostly just demos. And I always thought downloading demos was actually pretty neat, because it gives you a little preview of the game. So one of the demos I downloaded in the beginning was Infamous. And this was like a year later I got the PlayStation. I think it's like 2009. Wait. Yep, 2009, I got it, and but the demo was out a few months earlier than that, and I remember playing this level of the demo for the first Infamous game where you had to charge up the train tracks so the subway can move along through the city, which makes transportation really easier. And the mission was short. It was just that one mission, and even though as much as I wanted to explore the city, I couldn't. I didn't know the range of demos back then. They used to have demos for like the first PlayStation and whatnot. Like if you get a game, I actually don't have one of the cartridges, wow. I actually don't have one of the CDs here, but say something like you get like a Crash Bandicoot game, they'll have like a demo code in there that you have to enter with the buttons in order to play the new Spyro game, just a little demo of that, but you gotta do it in the beginning. Which I always thought was pretty cool, and to be honest, I've never noticed them right off back. It was actually after I beat the game, and I was looking at the cover, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I have no idea where my PlayStation 1 games are right now, so unfortunately I can't show you. But as far as Infamous, I remember playing the demo back then, and I was really intrigued. I really liked it. I was like, oh wow, you know, games are getting much better. This is the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. This was the newer generation, man, you know. And of course you had the Wii, and the Wii is the Wii. So anyway, going back to Infamous. What I liked about this game right off the bat was the fact that you can actually choose to either be the hero or the anti-hero. With me, the choice was already made even before I played the game that I was going to be the hero. Okay, you know, as far as being like the anti-hero, being infamous, basically, which they call it in the game, mostly do it just to unlock trophies, but that's about it. I really, as far as going for the story-wise, I really like I prefer the hero side of things, and I prefer that in all the games. But I like that you have this choice, and that was rare that you've seen in games, where you could start telling that we would start getting into like the new generation of games, because that was rare when you would see something where you would actually have a choice between these things. And I was just like really intrigued by that, and I said that's probably one of the sellers for me, is the fact that you can actually make the choices. And there are a good bit of them. Even in the side missions, there are a lot of choices that you have to make. But so finally, when this came out, this was like the third game I got for the PlayStation, and it's a PlayStation only game, as with all the Infamous games. And I freaking loved it, man. I loved it. At the time, I think the other game that was coming out that was really promoted was the first Prototype game. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And Prototype, and I don't have it here, it's somewhere in my corner. Prototype was actually a very good game, but this one came out around the same time. I think Infamous came out first, or was it second? I actually can't remember. I know they both came out like the same year. And at the time, I actually had to make... I eventually got both of the games, but at the time, I had to make a decision on which one will I get. Will it be Infamous or will it be Prototype? And I end up getting both. But at the time, when I had to make a decision, I would say I would probably go with Infamous. It just seemed like it was structured better. And there was kind of like this thing in between the games where people would say, which one would you prefer? Would you prefer Infamous or you prefer Prototype? And to be honest, I had fun with both games. But if I prefer, like which series I would stay with, it would probably be the Infamous series. Actually, hands down, it will be the Infamous series. Not saying that Prototype wasn't good, because it was. And I think the sequel is what kind of made me fell off, and I actually beat the game on that. It was way too easy, way too much of the same thing, but that's another gaming series. That's another story. We'll see if they make a third one. Infamous. Very good game. Let's read the little description on the back here. It says, a massive explosion rips through 6 blocks of Empire City. It's make-believe city. Killing everyone in its path. Except you. You now wield extraordinary powers. You will use them, but wait. Will you use them to save what's left or destroy it all? And that right there, I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold, and I can't wait to play this game, man. And then when I got it, I remember having so much fun with it. It got some artwork in there. And there was some stuff for the Uncharted game in here and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. I actually thought that Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog was the same company. You know, like, can you believe that? I don't know if you guys can see that too well. Sucker Punch, and then you got that Naughty Dog here. You know, the people who made the Crash Bandicoot games. So, well, this is the new Naughty Dog. The new Naughty Dog focuses on real people more than this anthropomorphic characters. But as far as what it was, I thought Infamous was a great game, man. I mean, it's basically about a guy named Cole McGrath who's a bike carrier, and he's delivering a package. The package sets off an explosion, and basically what it says, it kills everyone in your path except for you. But it also gives you these new powers, new electric powers, the powers of electricity. And as far as that, I thought, number one, it already starts off good. The comic book scenes are really... At first, I didn't know what to think about them. I was like, why aren't the scenes pre-rendered? Why aren't they, you know, using CGI or using in-game cutscenes? Because that's what I was used to. I never seen really a lot of games use sort of like still images to tell the story while narration was over it. You know, you probably see that in like movies or something like that, but in video games, I'd never pay attention to that. I don't know any like big mainstream games that used to do that. So when one came along, Infamous, that did that, I was like, oh, that's really good, because the artwork for Infamous is really good. I love this like sketchy graffiti looking comic book cutscene look that they did with the game. And just a little recap for this video, I won't be mentioning the actual comic books, because there are comic books, and they're pretty much based off the game. They are canon, I think. I think they do follow the storyline. They'll tell you what happened to certain characters in between, because some characters that we don't know what happened to them as far as like I mean, by the second Infamous, we kind of get the general idea, and I'll get to that in a second. But as far as the first one, we didn't know what happened to them. So DC Comics, yeah, this is licensed by DC, by the way. DC Comics actually released some comic books of it. So if you ever get a chance to find those comic books, please check them out. They're actually pretty good. And they pretty much bridge the gap in between the first Infamous and the second Infamous for the most part. So yeah, first Infamous game came out, loved it. As far as like a rating, I'll probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I thought it was really great, and I couldn't wait until what the generation brought us for more games. And I want a sequel. I want a sequel. And how the way the first one ended, spoilers, there are spoilers in this video. Let me just say that. And I probably should have said this in the beginning. If you don't want this game spoiled for you, don't watch the rest of this, okay? Because from here on out, I'm going to spoil shit, okay? I'm going to spoil every fucking thing for you. And what I mean by everything, I mean like the ending and stuff like that. Okay, so here we go. Spoiler corner. As far as the first Infamous, as far as the ending itself, I thought it was pretty interesting. Both endings end the same way, technically, which is different from Infamous 2, which I will get into in a second. In the first Infamous game, they both ended in a way that it was basically a to be continued and left things open for a sequel. And it was both going to end up putting Cole in the same predicament. He was going to end up fighting this supposedly beast, and to be honest, by the time Infamous 2 came out, I knew who the beast was and what he was. And it's pretty obvious, even in the first game. If you play the first game and you actually get to this part where the beast is basically created, he's actually created because of you. And you know, they both in the same way. So whether you're good or bad, it really doesn't matter in the first one. I mean, as far as like the most part, how people view you, how the NPCs view you in the game, that's fine, and all the way up from beginning to end. But right when it gets to that ending, it's just basically like, yeah, whether you're good or bad, this is what's going to happen. You're going to end up fighting this gigantic monster for, I guess, to protect people or just to make you look cool. And that's it. And this beast you're going to have to fight, you're going to have to deal with regardless of whether you're the hero or the anti-hero, okay? So you're going to do this whether you're good or bad. And that leads into the second Infamous game. And once again, there's Uncharted early access. I swear Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog are in league with each other to like make this game. I bet Second Son is gonna have like some type of beta for Uncharted 4, man. That'll be great. But well, here it is right there, multiplayer beta, early access voucher. I never did it. I never did it. Personally, I really don't care about the. I show you the numbers there. I never did it. Did I do it? Yeah, it's scratched off. So I did put it in. Yeah, I did do it. So this number doesn't matter anymore. I think it expires anyway. It would have expired anyway, I think, by this time. But yeah, like I said, once again, I never did it. I did put it in. I never did it. I just don't care. Every time I see Uncharted, I'm just like, yeah, you know, I played the second one. It was alright. I remember playing the first one and how nobody was on it until like the second one came out, and like I said, the second one was okay. Second one was probably better, but anyway, enough of Uncharted. That's another gaming series. Infamous. So yeah, here's the cover for the book and stuff like that. And if you have the game, you already seen this. Why the hell am I showing this to you? I don't know. I don't know. Here's the disc. I don't know. Let's read the back of it. What does it says? The beast is coming. Prepare. You are Cole McGrath, a hero who has been granted extraordinary abilities. Continue his journey and prevent of being a pure power destructive for annihilating mankind. So whether you're good or bad, like I said, this is going to be the overall story, the overall theme in this game. So regardless of whether you pick in the first one, you're going to end up doing this. To stop it, you must explore the dangerous city of Numereus and evolve your powers. Can you gain enough power to defeat this new evil, or will you witness the destruction of the world? The choice is yours. And I like that little last part there, the choice is yours, because there's more emphasis on choice in the second one compared to the first one. If you actually do go down the evil route, there is a different ending. And if you actually do go down the hero route, there is a different ending. But as we all know with Second Son, we if you play the series or if you haven't, basically the hero's story, the hero's ending for the story is basically the one that they go with, because supposedly, according to the trophy system information, don't ask me how they're getting it, they're hacking into your PlayStations, and they're figuring out that people chose the hero side more than they did the infamous side, even though that, I'm not going to lie, the evil side has like probably the best powers. I mean, your power is probably immensely much better. You're way stronger, it seems, when you go down the evil route. But of course, me, I went down the hero route when I first played, and then like I said, for trophies wise, I did do the other side of things. But if I prefer it, I'd rather be the hero. But that doesn't mean the powers don't suck. For both sides, hero and villain, powers are fucking awesome, man. You get the powers, how I say here, you get the power of fire if you decide to go evil, and you can't change midway because it will actually lock some things, which I thought was kind of stupid. Or you get the ice powers for good, and I'm not going to lie, the ice powers kind of kick ass. The fire powers do too, and they're way more destructive, and you feel very powerful with these powers. And so you have electricity built on fire and ice, whatever you prefer. And I loved it, man. I loved it. I thought it was once again, great game, a great addition onto the infamous arc. But unfortunately, at the end, like I said, they go with the hero's ending. Spoilers here. Cole McGrath dies. He dies in the hero ending. In the evil ending, he's sort of like, I forgot what happens. You might have to look this up. He sort of like goes around, he takes over the world or something like that. He ends up killing Zeke. Zeke, by the way, Zeke is his best friend, and Zeke is like the only guy from the main story arc who is still alive by Second Son, and that has been confirmed by the developers for Sucker Punch. Zeke will not make an appearance in Second Son from what I've heard, but to be honest, to have him the only one left is pretty interesting. And yeah, so as far as the endings go, I prefer the hero ending. I think it's much more emotional, and I think it fits the character more. It fits Cole's character much more than the evil ending, which felt like it was probably thrown on at the last minute. It seemed like it was probably going to go the route of, well, you know, we're going to have the same ending as we did in the first one, where as soon as we go into the third game, it doesn't matter whether you pick good or bad, you're going to end up doing this. But no, there's actually seemed like this ending for the evil side was sort of tagged on. And at first it felt like that to me, but it seems like they did set it up from the beginning. So, whatever the case may be, I prefer the hero's ending. So, as far as Infamous 2 goes, as far as a rating, what would I probably give it? On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8.5. Now, I know what you're probably saying. Why did you make it, well, 0.5 short of a 9 compared to the first game? Well, Infamous 2 did suffer from one problem. It improved on everything else, from graphics to... I always thought the voice acting was pretty good in both games, even though they switched all the voice actors except for Zeke in the second game. Don't know why they did that. I still like all the voice actors. I like the old ones. I like the new ones. And yeah, so you know, the graphics, voice acting, you know, was good and stuff. The graphics was much better. The movement, I got a text from somebody. The movement of the characters was much better. And excuse me, hold on a sec. Okay, I had to shut off my phone, and I actually couldn't find my home phone. But where was I? Yeah, the graphics and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Everything for the most part have been improved. Even the powers, the way you save people, the way you finish off enemies. But there was one thing that pissed me the fuck off every time it happened. It was when you ran out of electricity. What the fuck? Like, seriously, in the first game, if you ran out of the like little orbs of electricity that's actually hangs up there for your meter, if you run out of it in the first game, you could still do like your basic electric power. So you couldn't do like the bigger stuff, like throw grenades or do like a big shockwave with both of your hands. You couldn't do that stuff anymore. You couldn't lift up things. But as far as just like shooting manual stuff, just like shooting like small stuff, little bits of electricity, you could still do that in the first game. In the second game, if you run out of electricity, you're done, man. I mean, unless you can get to something electrical, which I guess makes probably more sense than the first one, because if you run out of juice, you run out of juice. Hell, even Static Shock did that at one point. But still, I mean, what the fuck, man? It's good to try to be realistic, but you're a fucking video game where a guy shoots electricity out of his fucking finger. Like, why would you do that? And they changed that, and I'm just like, why would... that was like the only thing that pissed me off, people. It was that. That was the only thing that made me say, okay, I'm in a fighting this big-ass ice titan, and... Number one, the Ice Titan takes forever to kill, by the way. Unless you have, like, an upgrade where you can get sticky bombs, sticky grenades, sticky electrical grenades. And to be honest, those are probably the most powerful weapon. And they stick, blow up, make little sparks, which blow up as well, which is a pretty freaking cool ability. But if you run out of that and... shooting pew pew pew, that's not gonna fucking work, man. It's not gonna work, and you're gonna get your ass kicked by this goddamn Ice Titan. There was this one side mission when I had to fight him, and I had like to stop this brawl between the I can't remember their name, the Vermac 88 and those little patrol guys in the second game. God, I haven't played the second one in so long. I'm actually gonna start playing it again. And I can't remember the ones that used to work on the Bertrand and New Moraeus. If you played the second Infamous game, you know exactly who I'm talking about. If anybody can tell me, let me know. But yeah, the militia. Okay, so the militia and these ice soldiers, which are called, I think, Vermac 88s. And so the ice soldiers and the militia are fighting, and then there's a side mission where you actually have to break up their little fight because innocent people could get hurt. And I'm pretty sure that this is just a good side only, a hero side only mission. And when you're doing this mission, it's a pain in the fucking ass, because the last ones that are going to be left every time are the ice soldiers, because they got a fucking Titan on their side. And this Titan is a pain in the ass, because I can take out all the soldiers easily, but then the Titan is just like, oh man, you can't get me, I'm a fucking brawler. I'm like... And then as soon as you run out of electricity, every time you run out of electricity, there seems to be nothing electrical around. I'm like, give me a street lamp or something. Give me a fucking nightlight. I need something. And you can't find anything. Then you end up getting killed and you gotta do the mission over. I swear I did this mission like 4 times, people. I'm not kidding. I was so pissed off, and that was like the only time I hated this game. Was that when you run out of electricity. But there was like no point in the story, at least none that I think of, where I ran out on... Oh no, wait, when you're fighting Bertrand, I did run out of electricity on that, which was pissed me off because he takes a lot of hits. And very good boss battle though, but when you went out of electricity, I was like, oh god, I gotta get to something. And then he just like bombards me with attacks. It's like they know. It's like the AI knows that you run out of energy and they just try to bombard you. It's a pain in the fucking ass. And I hate it. I hate it, man. I hate it. But besides that, great game. Pretty much improvement on everything besides that one major thing. And with the new powers of Delson. With the new powers of Delson and Infamous Second Son, he's going to have the power of Smoke, which hopefully turns out to be better. So, as far as the last one, let's get into it. This is the last one. The new one's coming up is Infamous Second Son, and that will be released 4 days from now, because it's March 17th as of right now, and that will be released on March 21st. And a little quick thing up here. I don't know if people pre-ordered it or not. If you actually pre-ordered the limited edition, you get an exclusive DLC called Cole's Legacy. And I think this almost comes with every pre-order, or at least not for the regular version. It has to be either the limited edition or the collector's edition. And supposedly they're going to make future DLC content, which is really neat. And as far as the DLC Cole's Legacy, it's supposed to bridge the gap in between the second Infamous and Infamous Second Son, which takes place 7 years later. And to be honest, I just pre-ordered just for that. I don't even have a PlayStation 4. I already pre-ordered just for that. I mean, I can't wait to get that. And there actually is a bundle that's done by GameStop. I'm looking at it right now. And it's supposed to be, you know, the PlayStation 4 bundle where you get the console, you get a second controller, and you also get Infamous Second Son. But it's the regular edition, so I don't think it comes with the DLC. And this DLC is not supposed to be available later, so get it while you can type thing. And that's pretty interesting. It comes out to be $569 supposedly as retail price goes. And that's fine and everything, but they also give you not only the regular edition like I just said, but they give you a 1-year PlayStation Plus subscription. And to be honest, that's kind of stupid, and I will go into that in a second. Okay, my camera is actually about to go out of energy right now, and I will get back to you guys in a second as soon as this thing recharges, okay? So I'm going to make a quick edit here, and it's probably going to be hours later, like in real time, but to you it's just going to look like it's just like 1 second. So give me a few and I'll be right back, and I got some more information to share with you guys.